It's not about the money.
Never has been.
It's never been about the money. It's been about
us being able to speak our minds freely on things that we care deeply about.
It's about
some
us.
things more than others. Yes,
That's right.
That's true.
It's about us doing what we do because we can.
And because we're needed to. We
Oh.
do it for the people.
Oh, hello, Internet. If you're just
what?
joining us.
Hello, Internet friends.
We're being recorded?
Yeah, we're recording!
Huh.
That's what the red light means.
Oh.
Yeah, you know that,
okay.
that little sign that says on air?
Ah.
We're now on air, Mark.
Is that...
Oh my God.
You thought we were developing photography, didn't you?
Yes.
That's our other hobby. No, we were just talking about, I guess they came out, YouTube has come out and said that they're not going to...
They're demonetizing...
Promote?
No, not promote.
Or allow
they're
people
demonetizing
to make money off of inappropriate and or explicit content.
Yes, they're demonetizing shows, YouTubers who are or would be considered offensive in language or suggestive sexual things.
So us.
Us, in a nutshell, yes. So
YouTube is geekist.
So
fuck you, YouTube.
Our Christabel episode. Christabel episode that has like what 37 views.
Yeah.
That actually has advertising in front of it, but everything else, that has thousands of views ahead of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
No advertising.
I think the biggest point is, hey, YouTube, you're free to do what you want to do. You do you, and we'll do us.
Word.
Watch me do me.
Yeah, but here's my thing. You're right. They can do whatever they want. It's their company.
Right.
However, when people tend to do that and they screw over the people who listen to them and give them money, they tend to lose a lot of business, and it just screws them over in the end.
Well,
it's a dumb thing to do. It's a dumb decision.
It's going to open up the door for other technologies to come in.
Oh yeah,
that's true, exactly.
Pick everything up.
All you're doing is creating. You're now going to be the Blockbuster, and you're creating Netflix, or someone else is going to be.
Oh shit!
Basically, and puts you out of business. That's what's going to happen.
Look at you, Mark.
I explained it simply for the
look
people.
Look at the big brain on Mark.
Look at the big brain on Mark. That's right. Boy out with cheese. You're a smart motherfucker.
Stomach is big too.
No, but seriously,
it's some bullshit,
but you guys, you do you, we'll do us, and even though you want to squash our dreams of doing this professionally, you will fail.
Well, this is what I don't understand is everybody who listens to us, they know that we are for adults only, right?
Hopefully.
We are, we've been identified
I let my
as
7-year-old daughter listen to the podcast. She loves it. The look on your face right now is priceless.
Anyway, so you were saying...
Sorry. I threw you off, didn't I?
I did.
Ha!
That really threw me off.
Suck it!
I lost my train of thought, dude. You telling me that you let your 7-year-old daughter listen to our shit? That really fucked me up.
I said no.
But yeah, I mean, we've been identified as mature content, not safe for work.
Yeah, we don't hide it.
Don't turn it on the loudspeaker at work and broadcast it over the intercom for all the little young school kids to listen to.
No, it definitely is not.
I mean, I don't know. I'm torn because I think that it's not only doing us a disservice, but it's doing other people a disservice because they're not able to listen to the shit they want.
Well, they can listen to it. It's just that the people producing the product, they're not going to be able to make money off of it.
Right. Because
YouTube.
Advertisers don't want their name
attached
to be related to something so inappropriate.
Come on, guys. Seriously.
Dumb.
The views of those expressed here are not necessarily the views of any commercial you may see.
Yeah, like we represent them in any way, shape, or form.
Our opinions
we don't
do
even
not
have any
reflect
control
YouTube
what
and
kind of commercials go in front of
advertising,
it.
you know, bodies
So-
that they use.
So now that
You don't go to a rated R movie and then there's no commercials. God, that'd be nice. But you don't go there. There's no commercials in front of the rated R movie. You know what you're going to see.
Yep.
So you know, there's still other people still put their commercials.
You don't go to rated R movies, Mark?
You don't go there.
You in general, Logan.
Okay.
Oh my God. So you know what happened to me?
Yeah.
Over the weekend?
Wait.
I'm going a completely different direction.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to totally take a stab at this in the dark.
Stab it.
You finally finished watching Stranger Things.
Well, that happened too, but I was actually going in a different direction.
You had Monday off because it was Labor Day.
That happened too.
And you finished watching Stranger Things.
Something
that I told you to do a month and a half ago.
That happened before Monday. That happened like 2 weeks ago.
All right.
No, I'm going somewhere else with this one, son.
I can't tell where
you went to the corner store.
No. Well, I mean, I did that, but that's not what I'm getting at. Go on. I can do this all night. Our listeners love this shit.
I know they do.
They eat it up.
They're
like, oh my God, Josh, don't ever tell them. They're rooting for me right now.
This is intriguing pod. I can't believe it.
I know
half
what it
of
was.
them are like, Josh, don't tell them. The other half are like, God damn it, Josh, just fucking tell them.
I know what it was.
What was it?
You had lunch somewhere special.
I did eat lunch. Mark's starting to sound like a psychic. I see lunch. It's a special lunch.
I see you.
You
woke up in the morning.
I see bacon.
Oh.
No, I went to Comic-Con. Fuck you guys.
What?
It was fucking awesome. Comic-Con, Salt Lake Comic-Con, VIP, up in the VIP. Suck it.
Sure, no one could tell that by the photos you put on.
I did. I posted millions of photos. And millions of people have seen those photos.
And he couldn't even have tried to, like, crop us into those fucking
You know I'm a Photoshop expert. Come on.
You want me to hear?
What an ass. You know that one where him and
Mark Hamill,
Savage Press is sitting there. You know, they could have just kind of put me and Mark just right in between the lightsabers going, what up?
Mark, you've got access to all the
Mark
pictures.
Hamill is doing the jazz hand thing.
That's right.
Yeah, we could have been shaking it. Yeah.
So, Mark, that's your homework this week. I want to see a full line of photos
cropped
from 2g33ks1mic at Comic-Con. No, seriously.
This is what I'll do. I'll just take selfies of, like, surprised expressions of myself and just be like... and then you go ahead and place them wherever
What we need to do after that is we'll pretend that we interviewed Mark Hamill and we'll have us asking questions and then just take different movies and things that he's done answering. So one scene he's dressed as Luke Skywalker, the next is just the Joker's voice.
Yeah, no, you know what? The highlight of that Comic-Con, though.
So Mark, were you sad that the Star Wars franchise kind of took a break after you did episode 4, 5, and 6? No! Right? Something like that.
Yes, basically.
Well, I will say this: the highlight of the panel for me, or of the Comic-Con for me, was Mark Hamill's panel. First off, it was freaking awesome. I posted a picture of the crowd at the panel, and it was amazing.
Right.
I mean, we filled the Vivint Center.
Yeah, thanks.
It was beautiful.
Thanks.
It was wonderful. I had ground seats. I was on the floor. I reached out and touched the air that Mark Hamill touched. It was a glorious moment.
Yeah. You actually touched the air?
Oh, yeah.
Touched it. Cow.
Fuck, don't watch that shit.
I didn't. I haven't. I won't.
Don't ever wash your lungs. I mean, gosh, you've been breathing in his air.
No, Mark
What about the outfit that you wore? It got his air on it.
Hell yeah, it did.
Don't burn it.
No, hell no. I put it in a plastic bag. It's hanging in my pocket.
It's got more than his
You better
air
cryo
on it.
freeze that shit, dude.
Josh took that shit and ejaculated all over it.
It's no longer Monica Lewinsky's blue dress.
That's Josh McElwain's Jedi robe. Oh my goodness. Well, now that we just brought that full circle, You know, I will say this, day 2 of the Comic-Con,
with that.
I was all dressed up
costume.
like Dorian Gray, right? I put on my Dorian Gray outfit. I had the fucking portrait,
All I saw was
I
your.
walked
I
around
didn't see all your photos. I just
and
saw.
nobody knew who I was. Shame on you, Comic-Con goers. Shame on you. How do you not know who Dorian Gray is?
I don't know, but anyway,
Don't
the
give me
point
that
is,
look. Don't
we
judge
don't
me.
have a whole ton of time, so I think we should continue on with what we're talking about.
We have
You
all
went
the
to
time in the
Comic-Con,
world.
that
Mark.
is all. Yeah, but I want to spend the majority of our time talking about tonight's actual topic.
Well, the fun part was, along that topic line, was there were a lot of Stranger Things cosplays.
Oh, really?
A lot.
What?
Lots.
How could you cosplay Stranger Things?
Well, dude, you got
Kids
people
buzzing
dressed
their
up like
head.
a
Unless
lizard.
you have the vagina head monster.
That would be badass.
That would have been a cool
That
costume.
would have been
but,
pretty sweet.
No, you had like kids dressed up like 11. You had kids dressed up like, Will.
You saw
and
someone
Nancy
dressed up and looked exactly like Winona Ryder. You're like, hey, that looks like Winona Ryder. And she's like, yeah.
It's
looks
because
like.
I am. Oh, I mean, yeah.
One thing I will say about Winona Ryder and Stranger Things.
She played a crazy
That
person very
chick,
well.
dude, she
Oh my
has
God.
resurrected her goddamn career with that
Dude.
movie.
I will say that as far as Stranger Things goes, as a show, as a miniseries, whatever you want to call it, as a BBC season.
It's not BBC.
No,
He's
I'm
just saying
saying
it's
that
short.
Sherlock, season of Sherlock is like 8 episodes
a
long.
lot of their stuff is
Season of
really
Doctor Who
short.
is like 8 episodes long. It's the way the BBC does. I was making a joke, you dense motherfucker.
It's not BBC.
I know
okay.
that!
Logan's not as.
I'm
cool
not a
as Josh
BBC
and I.
watcher.
You're an
He's
idiot.
not. He's not as. What's the right word?
He's not as versed.
Yes, exactly. That's okay.
Anyway,
That's okay.
Stranger Things is
Suck
fucking
my
awesome,
ass,
and
okay?
there
I
isn't
told
a
you about this
single
show a
weak
month and a
point.
half ago, and you guys were like, "Oh yeah, well, I got really important things on my list of things to do.
No, that's not exactly.
I gotta
no,
pluck
you know
my
what?
ball hairs.
That's an
I
important
just simply
task.
haven't gotten
Hey,
to it. That's all.
That's an important task.
It is.
You know what
If
they've
you don't
done?
know
fluff
what?
your ball hairs,
No, you know what they've done?
what?
They've created these things. They're called clippers. Just go ahead and shave that shit. Don't pluck your shit, okay?
What?
Anyway,
I've been doing
Stranger
that to my
Things.
beard. So you're saying
The
that
thing-
clippers?
The
It's
cool
a
thing
lot of
is about
pain.
Stranger Things is it's very rare that you get a show like that there's like it's all just good.
Everything about
It's all good.
Everything about it was good.
And there's even like subtle good. Okay, so yeah, we're totally gonna go into spoilers. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But like at the end when
It's been out
Scott
long enough
has
now.
the nail bat and he's hitting the monster,
yeah.
dude. Like if you notice, it's subtle, but he hits it and the bat gets stuck, and he has to pull the bat out every time. And they do that, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that would really happen if you're hitting some shit with a nail bat. Boom. That's what you'd be doing. I love that.
I thought you were talking more along the lines of when they're riding their bikes and they're being chased by the Department of Energy, and 11 collapses the front end of that.
Dude!
Goes over
That was
top of it.
cool.
That
I thought
was
you were.
so
I thought that's
cool.
what you were talking about.
Yeah, that
something
was the
like
most
that.
realistic
Because
part
that
of the
could
show.
happen.
That was the most realistic part of the show. Logan, thank you
That was a good
for
scene,
your
though. Yeah.
your razor sharp and totally deep analysis.
I really liked the subtle references that they did throw in there a lot. There's probably even a lot that I missed because I don't, I was a little kid in the 80s. I don't remember every single pop culture thing about then. But there was a lot of fun references in there that they did make that we all picked up on.
I liked how
Star Wars.
the kids were like total nerds, and they loved it.
E.T..
They were embracing that
Dude,
Yes,
shit.
they did.
It started. The show started. I mean, well, after the one guy gets snatched up by the vagina head
Will.
monster.
After Will
No,
gets snatched up.
no. Before Will gets snatched up, dickhead. Listen.
Okay.
I'm talking after the dude at the Department of Energy gets snatched up by the vagina head
Oh,
monster.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What are the boys doing?
Okay. They're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
D&D with that.
They're worshiping the devil. Because as we all know, in the 80s, that was a big thing, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, when
Really?
you played Dungeons and Dragons in the '80s, you were worshiping.
See,
the
I
devil.
never played it, but I remember those.
You might
I
as well
think
be
they were
playing it on a Ouija board.
Well, I think they were Dungeons and Dragon books. Do you guys remember this in the school libraries? Josh and I went to elementary school together, so he might have read them too. But at least in our school library, they had these books where you would read through them.
Choose your own adventure books.
Yeah, weren't those like Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
Titles?
Well,
I don't know what
had
were called.
They had a lot of
It's been
fantasy
since-
type books that
it's
were
been-
like you could be a barbarian or
Yeah,
whatever.
I remember like they were dungeon books, or they were dragon
Well,
books or
they
something.
they
I
did
don't know.
come out with Dungeons and Dragons, like a novel series, but that
But was it like that where you choose your own?
no.
No, it wasn't
Okay.
a choose your own.
That's
I
called
don't
Choose Your Own
remember what they're
Adventure,
called.
Mark.
Those were awesome.
Dude, it's been like 30 years, seriously.
Do you
I
remember-
don't-
you
I
know-
barely
wait,
remember.
you
So those
reading
books
those?
where you can like choose like your own
yeah.
adventure. Do you remember those books?
I remember.
Do you remember?
What I remember about
Do you
those?
remember those books where you could like choose a
You know
different
what I remember
adventure?
about those?
Yes.
Trying-
Thank you.
Trying to like skip around the book to find the best ending, and then trying to like navigate to get
I didn't
to
do
that.
No, you know what I would
I didn't do that because
I did.
I didn't want to spoil it.
You know what I would do is I would go through, and the first fork in the road where it was like, you know, we'll just say light side, dark side decision. I would mark that page,
Yeah, and then you
and
read
then
ahead,
I would go through and I would follow, you know, light side.
see
of
if you
course.
liked where it was going.
Oh, okay.
This
Well,
is
now let's go
great.
back and we'll change that decision
Yes.
to dark side.
I had a notebook.
And that's when the character that you were reading about goes on like a massive killing spree.
Yeah.
It was fucking
It was
awesome.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I loved in Stranger Things. Okay, there was one thing in Stranger Things that I don't ever remember as a child being able to get away with, and maybe it's like Mark
Cursing
said,
at the dinner table?
I was too young, but people did not just sneak in and out of your room and spend the night randomly, and mom and dad didn't just leave you in your room for hours at a time for you to like
Yeah.
plot.
Yeah,
Now,
but
that's why I liked
we
you know,
weren't
when they were in the
teenagers in the
basement.
80s. A and B, neither of us had our own bedrooms for the most part. In the
Well, that's
80s.
true.
We were sharing bedrooms with our siblings. So
Actually,
a little bit
back when I was, you know, a kid, I would be left at home by myself all the time.
That's because you don't have pets, Logan. I'm sorry. You were adopted.
yeah, my mom.
I
We
knew there
should-
was something
We
wrong
should
with
adopt.
me.
We should adopt little Logan.
I
We
knew
should
it. I wasn't the same as my brothers
Sorry,
and
sorry,
sisters.
listeners. I didn't know he didn't know.
I
I didn't know you
Funny
didn't
thing.
know.
It's like in Dumb and Dumber 2 when his parents are Asian and he had no idea that he was adopted.
So as far as the show goes, okay. First off, I love how they reference Cosmos. Okay, the Carl Sagan Cosmos, the one that he did the documentary back in the day, and these kids watched it, and you know that shit was not easy to get back then. You had to like go down to the video store.
Cosmos.
Cosmos.
What the hell are
Wasn't
you
it?
talking about?
Wasn't it on PBS?
Have
The
you
show
not
was a TV
seen
series. All right.
Cosmos.
No.
So Carl Sagan did it back in the day. I
Who the
can't
hell's
remember
Carl
what
Sagan?
year. Who the hell's Carl Sagan?
Educate my ass.
Josh, he's the Riker in this episode.
Oh,
it's okay.
gotcha.
It's okay.
Here, you know what I'm gonna do?
The
I'm gonna
viewers
pull up.
need it.
I'm gonna
I'm sure
Google
not
Carl
everyone.
Sagan for you real
We
quick.
probably have a younger audience too. I mean, people who are in their
Carl
20s don't know
Sagan
what the fuck
was-
we're talking about.
He was the Neil deGrasse Tyson of that
Exactly.
era.
And I don't recall them
Isn't he
sitting
on
down
your background?
watching anything.
No, they didn't watch
Put
it.
him out on your background. Isn't he one of those two guys?
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Carl Sagan did a series called Cosmos, where he talked about,
They remade
Science.
the show Cosmos.
and Neil deGrasse
Oh, they-
Tyson redid it recently. It's on Netflix. It's very good. You should watch
It
it.
was off of Fox.
Yeah, and they talk about just different scientific breakthroughs. Well, when they're asking their science teacher about how someone would get to
The underworld,
upside
Yeah,
down,
upside down.
they reference, Carl Sagan talks about multiple universes in Cosmos.
By the way, speaking of that
And then the teacher
teacher,
starts going through
am
that
I the only
metaphor.
one that looked at that teacher got the total weird raping children vibe because it was weird mustache and his weird. He was just a weirdo.
No, Mark. Back
Just
in the
because
80s,
you got raped
Yeah.
by a teacher.
back in the
Okay.
80s, you
Maybe
would
back
have
in the-
you would have male people
I
in
know.
your life that had mustaches that didn't want to give you a mustache rub. Okay?
It's,
That's
it's
normal.
Like, it's like Back to the Future. You've got this teenage boy with this old man hanging out. Nowadays, that would never happen. That would be so weird and creepy.
But I loved the reference they made to Cosmos when they were talking about trying to travel to the other dimension. I loved, you know, the metaphor that he used. Brilliant metaphor, absolutely.
Yeah, whoever
amazing.
wrote that, they were pretty
The
good.
writing in that show,
I'm sure that they're
absolutely
The
amazing.
Duff brothers wrote it.
The Duffer,
I'm sure they're
the
like
Duffer brother.
like a lot of I know that I'm gonna bring something up Logan hates. Star Trek,
Jesus
for instance, the writers don't necessarily know all the physics and all this shit of what they're
Yeah.
talking about, so they'll
They just
bring in
make
people
shit
who
up.
do. Well,
Yeah.
they'll reference people who do. So I wonder if these guys, the Duff brothers, if they know that kind of stuff, or if they have to. Duffer, whatever. Okay, the point
He's
is, I just
mad 'cause
wonder.
I just did it to him 2 seconds ago.
Okay, the point I'm getting at is these two brothers. I don't know if they know that stuff or if they have to bring in some astrophysicist or something
Well,
to get
the
these
thing I
references
love-
and help them explain it.
The thing I love most about it is, like, okay, so they figure out, oh, okay, we gotta go. Will's still alive, but he's not here. It's like here. Oh, and then they're like, oh, let's consult the Book of Truth, and they go immediately to Dungeons and Dragons, and then that's where they get the Veil of Shadows. And if you want to travel to the Veil of Shadows, you have to cast Shadow Walk. We can't cast Shadow Walk. Well, we need a gateway then.
Energy.
Dude, oh my god. It was just, I love the perfect fusion of Dungeons and Dragons fantasy with scientific theory, and then throw in Eleven,
They did
who
do a
can
lot of
do
that.
shit with her mind. That made me happy. When she made the bully pee his pants,
Yeah.
I cheered for every time I personally had been bullied
Dude,
in elementary
she
school.
Jedi mind tricked the shit out of that movie. It was awesome.
Yes.
Fucking
That scene
awesome.
where she was making the Millennium Falcon fly, that was pretty
Yeah,
fucking hilarious.
Yeah, she's just sitting there going,
Make this fly.
He
Make
drops
this
it.
fly. He drops it. She just needs practice.
No. The best part was when she made all of those Department of Energy agents.
Oh my god! They
Oh,
start
nice.
bleeding out of their
Whoa.
faces and everything.
was
Oh, that was
awesome.
so good. There was like 100 of them. Well, not 100. There was like 20 of them standing there, and they all start to stop. They start bleeding out.
Let's
their
be
face.
generous, there were 50.
50. 11. You made 50 people's heads explode. That's how awesome you are, babe. She's way awesome, dude. I'm so happy that I saw
But-
that show.
Okay, now you can thank me for that because I pressed your ass.
I will thank the Duffer Brothers, not you.
No, you thank
No,
me.
I will thank the Duffer Brothers.
I think Winona
Get on
Ryder
your
for
knees.
her great acting of a crazy person. She was good.
It's 'cause
See,
she
but
kinda
I
is a
wonder if
crazy
she is
person,
kind of
isn't
that way
she?
in real life.
Well-
She was very, very crazy.
You would have, look, you would have to be crazy to have the success that she had with the money and go into some bourgeois fucking parlor on.
Well, she also was like on and going
Well,
to
and
a
she
lot of
lifted
drugs
a
at that
necklace.
time.
Yeah.
She lifted a necklace that she more than
Oh,
had
no,
money to do.
I am
What
not going
the
to not
fuck?
call you out on that.
Really?
I get
But
called
you-
out for having my phone on.
I'm
and
Your
not
phone
you.
rings, dude. Mine just did a polite little.
It doesn't
Whatever.
matter. It doesn't matter.
As we all hustle to.
Yeah. Hurry, hurry, turn the sound down.
I don't want to get called out again.
No, but I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I loved Elle.
I definitely
Doing her
recommend it. It
thing.
was good. I'm really excited to see how they're going to do a second season because I thought they ended.
Well, according
Well, I
to
mean, it
Mark,
definitely left
according
a
to
good
Mark, he said they can't do a second
That's
season.
not what I
They
said.
pretty much
I
buttoned
said-
everything up.
I don't know how they're going to do a second season. That's all I said. I'm curious because I could.
It is true. He has a good point though, because they could go in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, exactly. They could even.
They left
could
so
even-
much shit unanswered.
I know that they're going to have.
How is Will able to cross over to the Upside Down and still be in his bathroom after he coughed a slug up? Where's Elle?
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
That's what Mark. I think.
What
I
came
think-
out of the pod?
I think
What came out of that pod in the Upside Down that
The-
dude was checking
the
out?
monster.
No, the monster did not.
How do
The
you-
monster came from the realm that Elle went into.
How do you know
The
that?
Black Realm.
A different realm?
Yes. The Black World, where she was in the water tube, right? Where she was in isolation. That Black World, right?
Right.
That's where the monster was.
Right.
Here was my
Her
point.
scream ripped the dimensions open.
Right.
So now the monster's able to get into the Upside Down as well as our dimension. And Elle can travel into the Upside Down as well as our dimension.
That's an interesting theory. I don't know that I agree with it.
Well, here's my point. They pretty much killed.
So where is Elle?
What we know for sure was the bad guy, or what we think is the main. We don't know if there's more creatures like that. There could be, like you're saying, there could be other things.
They only show
I'm
The
just
bad
saying-
guy got killed. Papa got killed.
Yeah. So that was my point. Was like, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm excited to see how they're going to do it. Like to me, it's good because I don't want to go in predicting how it's going to be and what's going to happen. I hate
Let me
shit like
let
that.
me just sum up what you just said.
I don't need you to sum it up.
I'm
I just
Mark,
finished.
and I don't give a shit what season 2 brings.
No, I'm excited about what season 2 is going to bring.
You know what I am?
God.
I am also excited, but I think that Will flashing into the Upside Down, I think that's going to get more and more.
Refresh my brain
He's
because
gonna
I don't
see
remember
someone-
exactly what happened with that.
He went into the bathroom
To
was
wash,
gonna wash
up
up for
his hands
dinner.
were dirty.
Yeah,
He was going to wash up for dinner. He
All
ends
right,
up
it was like
coughing the
Christmas,
slug
right?
up, and it goes into the sink, and that's when he flashed into the Upside
Yeah, he
Down.
like coughs or something like that. He goes kaplang, and he's in the Upside Down for a second,
Yeah, and
He's
then
like,
the slug
"Oh,
falls
shit."
out of his mouth.
and then it goes kaplang, and he snaps right back.
So maybe he got some
So-
powers for having been over there for so long.
That's
or
what I
something.
think. I think
Well,
him
did
plus
the
being hooked
slug?
up
Did
to
the slug have something to do with it? Because he hacked
Yeah.
up a giant slug.
Is
that
that
went
slug?
down the
Yeah,
drain.
that's right. So I'm thinking maybe that slug's going to be a big thing in the next season.
Will, are you licking slugs again? I'm not licking
Okay,
slugs.
so let's just do this real quick.
Yeah, that was.
They
That's
have
right.
announced season 2 for Stranger Things. It's going to be coming out next year.
Right.
I
and
love
along with
watching
that
these shows on
announcement-
Netflix, but I hate waiting for the next season so bad.
Along with that announcement, they dropped the
I'm sure most
episode
people
titles.
Yes, they
Don't
did.
tell me what people know, Mark.
Anyway, so what are the episode titles there?
What are the episode titles? God damn.
Stand fast. I'm looking.
In the meantime, I'm just going to entertain our audience so
Just,
we don't
sing
have
a
dead
song.
air.
Sing a song.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Hello, my ragtime gal.
Little soft shoe action. Okay, so season 2,
Now
episode
bring you back to our regular
episode 1.
program.
Now I was talking to
Did you
one
guys
of
just
my
see
buddies
that
down at
magical
work.
frog start singing?
Right? I was talking to one of my buddies down there
Warner
at work
Brothers.
because
Hilarious.
he's the one who showed me that they had actually dropped the titles to each episode. And episode 1 is Mad Max. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, there was no character named Max in season 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so episode 1, Mad Max. 2, The Boy Who Came Back to Life. 3, The Pumpkin Patch. 4, The Palace. 5, The Storm. 6, The Pollywog.
The
7, The Secret Cabin. 8, The Brain. And 9, The Lost Brother.
The
Oh.
palace, I'm gonna bet, is the library in the Upside Down.
Well, what's the Pollywog? Is that going to be a new monster?
Maybe, or maybe it's what the slug turns into.
Well, I think it's pretty
Or
safe
maybe
to
it's
say
something that gets birthed out of one of those
the boy
aliens.
who, what was it? The boy who came back to life. I'm sure that's probably gonna be about Will. So it's safe to say he's probably gonna
Has to be.
return. So I'm wondering, like, because they could do an entire season with a completely different cast and do something completely else, like similar stuff going on in some other town. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I don't think they're
I
going to do
thought
that
about
because
that.
they've already established a character,
Like,
a bunch of characters.
They're going to
and
do
stuff.
something
they're probably
similar
gonna bring
to
them
like
back and just
True
say they could.
Detective. You know, they're going to do something similar to True Detective, where, you know, in season 1 they had brain farting. God, I can't remember. But in season 2 they had a completely different cast. Season 1 was in Louisiana. Season 2 was in L.A. You know, so.
So you think another town?
Well, that's what I thought. But with the reaction of all of the kids going viral online, I'm assuming that they're all re-upped for season 2.
That was my
It would be interesting if they did do at least a couple episodes about another town and then tie them in together, because you gotta think the government always has more than one facility, so they could easily have another facility doing the exact same kind of things.
Department of Energy in it that has a dimensional rip.
I think that was the point.
Who knows?
Was that the
or
guy,
maybe it doesn't have a dimensional rip. Maybe it just has, you know, kids that
L's?
they're doing more kids with experiments.
Well, that was the thing though. Is I thought that the impression I got was that it was totally unique because of the crazy lady who lost her daughter, Elle.
Yeah.
Was pregnant when she was doing all the tests, which were supposed to extrapolate as what gave Elle her power.
Yeah. Yes. All of the LSD and you know, mind
which makes me want to go out and do some LSD. Let's just say. Okay.
What's crazy is, as far as I understand, the
government
actually was doing
2g33ks1mic does not promote the use of illegal substances.
No.
Alright, so you want to go do some LSD?
No, I'm super stoked for Stranger Things.
I'm willing to bet that if you did the LSD, you're more likely to turn into the woman at the end, where she just didn't do anything. She was pretty much a vegetable. That's more likely what's going to happen.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe if you get pregnant, you might have a child. Maybe we should get Josh pregnant.
Let's do it.
We've been trying for years, Mark. Why are you
running anal stuntman? We need anal stuntman.
Why are you running it in?
So,
no,
I mean, my take on Stranger Things, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the music, the score.
Yeah,
I mean, just that title scene.
It really did bring you back to the 80s.
I mean, it was E.T. meets Stephen King meets John Carpenter meets X-Files meets Twilight Zone. I mean, meets everything.
Very sci-fi.
I mean, yeah, it was all things mixed together.
Yeah, and it was, and the thing, I'm very excited to see where they go with it. I'm very excited just to see what they do with it. I mean, it was such a good show in every way. And Millie Bobby Brown was super fun at Comic-Con. I mean, she took some great pictures of everybody. She was enjoying the hell out of herself.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, as I would, were I in her shoes.
You know what I read about that girl and that little boy? What was his name? The one that got a crush on her?
Mike?
Yeah. That was their first kiss ever, was on screen. And so
really? Awesome.
The directors and everything were sending them kiss emojis and all this stuff to really, and they were so embarrassed. They were so embarrassed. And it was funny to read that because it's like, yeah, they're in Hollywood, they're doing this acting, but they're still the little kids. They're still
awesome.
They're still blushing when they got a kiss and stuff. It's hilarious.
Her love of Eggos made me smile. Yeah. Her calling everybody a mouth breather, that just
that was
mouth breather.
I have to say though, my favorite part of that whole movie was when the bully. I'm going to call it a movie. It's an 8-hour movie.
It's not a movie.
It is a movie. God damn it.
God damn it.
It's not a movie.
It's not a movie.
It is a movie.
All right. So the show. The best part for me
was obscure, but a valid reference.
When Mike was standing there at the quarry with the bully.
Yeah.
And the bully told him to jump.
Yeah.
And he did. And you don't hear a splash.
Yes.
And you see him being brought back up.
Dude, and then you know Elle's gonna
shit right there, dude.
And she does.
Oh. And she breaks his arm. Oh, that's awesome.
That was so good.
So good.
That was good. And then her just like the look on her face. She was like gonna destroy some
dude,
fools.
She does a very good pissed off fire starter face.
Think about this too. I mean,
yeah,
how many lines does she actually have in the series?
Not
many.
No. Yes.
But give her
bad.
Logan is gonna resuscitate. No, but even though she has like so few lines, the range of emotion and what she added to that show was so good.
When she
And it
went
was
into
all
that
facial
store,
expression.
All of it.
yeah, when she went into that store and she just was like not gonna, she was just so pissed off. She
And
just took the
she
Egos.
slams those doors shut. It's like,
Love it.
oh,
It was
that was
good.
awesome.
You know, there's something I wanted to ask you guys about what you thought about this. You know how they kept calling the Sheriff Lando because he
Yeah.
betrayed them? Well, you know how he actually does finally tell them where Elle's at, where they're at the school?
Yeah.
My thought about that was that he knew she'd be okay because she could take care of herself. That's why he finally told them.
Well,
it
he
wasn't
also
just
knew.
it wasn't just because he was trying to, you know, get let go and everything. I think he kind of had an idea that she would be okay.
I think his thought was, look, the kid is they're gonna catch up with her eventually anyway. So I'm gonna try and take a chance to save this woman's child.
And go into a place
But
that I have no idea what I'm walking into.
I
Yeah, or
think
if
he
they're
was
gonna be
also
able to make it
betting
back.
that they were gonna do exactly what he told them not to do, which was stay put.
Yeah.
He was betting that they were going to leave.
Yeah.
And I like
That's
to
true.
think that that's what he was doing.
You know, one more thing about the whole science thing is when they were talking to the high school teacher about water buoyancy
Yeah.
and you know how much salt needs to be.
Yeah.
That was awesome, dude.
That was-
they
that
was
actually got the
pretty cool.
egg to float on the water.
That was way
Yeah.
cool. That was good. All right. Well, hey, if you guys love Stranger Things as much as we did,
Then
or
go watch it.
more than we did,
Go watch it.
watch
I'm
it again.
I'm gonna have to watch it again. It
I'm
actually was
actually
I'm gonna watch it
watching it again with the wife.
Hell yeah.
So
I'm gonna watch it
I,
again.
before we go, I got to tell you this. So my wife, she's like, no, I'm not gonna watch that. It's got jump outs. I'm like, no, it doesn't have jump outs.
They were actually quite minimal on the jump scares.
Yeah, I mean, it did have some,
It had
but
a
not a
couple.
whole lot. And so she's sitting there reading a book on her Kindle, and so I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just waiting for her to kind of put the Kindle down and start focusing on the TV.
Yeah.
About halfway through the second episode, she started doing that. So she's in.
Oh yeah.
She's in.
Cool.
She's committed at this point.
Well, it's because it's a damn good show.
It is.
Right?
It's a damn good. That you know what?
I watched it in a day.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
I watched all 8 episodes in one day.
I
How
watched
many
it about
buckets
2
of
days, but it was-
geekgasm would you give it?
Oh,
I'm gonna give it a 5.
more than I can offer.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 5 out of 5 because
I'm 5
that's
out of
probably
5.
one of the only things I'll ever rate that high. It's definitely the only thing we've talked about on the show that I've ever rated that high.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 5 with an added 5 for donor log. Okay.
I'm gonna give it an added
So,
5 because
when
they've
we
already
review something that
announced a
sucks,
next season.
Stranger Things can be like, here, I've got 5 extra
Yeah,
I'm not
here's
using.
5
one.
extra buckets
Have
of
one.
geekgasm.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe. You know what? Share. You know the drill. Do the thing.
Download us on iTunes because iTunes is not having this whole demonetizing bullshit that YouTube is doing.
Yeah, iTunes is pretty good. I mean, and plus you can put us on your iPod and take you with us.
Yeah.
And it's free.
And
And
you
it
get
is
you
free.
get ear pleasure.
Yeah.
Your pleasure.
Exactly. You get to
Oh,
listen to us
dear
for
pleasure.
free.
You could put
That's
us
awesome. You
in
can
your
download us
car
for free.
and make your friends listen to us
And give them ear pleasures.
Yes.
all at once.
They're gonna have ear
It's
gasms.
like a nice tongue licking the inside of your ear.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Love you,
Till
audience.
next time.